This park, it has a lot of healing energy for me. The trees, the grass, and the water all being in the same space, you know? And I don't have to drive far. I don't have to go far. It's right here by my house. Right there. Every day we're faced with something new that we're challenged with, and people really don't have an outlet. So I'm blessed to have this right down the street from my house. And I'll just meditate sometimes on a full moon. Like, it's just beautiful. There's not one person out here. The moon's hitting the water. You know, sometimes you just see the fish like still jumping out. My dad used to take me by the water to have conversations, you know. So when he passed away, I just remember walking here and just like standing there and just like recalling the conversations that he would have with me. And it brought me so much serenity just standing by the water, because that's where we used to stand all the time. So like the water, the memories of my father, the stressful times that I would just come, and back there is just like a bunch of trees. You know, you just go and I put my hands on the trees, I'll hug the trees, I'll sit right next to the tree, or I'll cry and just let my emotions go. And for whatever reason, it's just always super peaceful, like around all the trees. And it's a whole bunch of them back there. When my mom was in recovery, I remember walking her down here in the wheelchair, and then like we would do some yoga here, and she would be in the wheelchair and she couldn't stand up, but I would stand her up and then try to balance her. And this park, it has a lot of healing energy for me, you know, just from a standpoint of the trees, the grass, and the water all being in the same space, you know. And I don't have to drive far. I don't have to go far. It's right here by my house. Right there. I just think it's really important for people to be in nature when they're stressed out. Every time that I feel overwhelmed, like this is kind of like my go-to spot, you know. I just come here, I'll take my shoes off, I'll bring my yoga mat, I'll bring my blanket, like it's my respite. You know, I'll bring my blanket and I'll just lay it out underneath a tree, and then I'll just lay there and just look up at the sky and see the sun coming through the leaves. Like, that just relaxes me, you know what I mean? Yeah. And regardless of how overwhelmed I am, regardless of, of how much I'm dealing with or whatever, like that just heals me. It's interesting because I don't need to do anything else other than just lay on the ground underneath the tree and look at the sky, you know? I'll sit down in a lotus or a half lotus position and with legs crossed and just sit there, man, for like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, just looking at the water, not doing anything else, but just looking at the water. This is one of my favorite spots right here. Like, I'll literally just stand here, man, and just breathe. And just look at all the movement, you know? You can feel the energy back here just even walking up to this point. Like, it literally shifts.
Yeah, this is a totally different biome than the front of the park.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I literally just come back here, man, and when I'm having a down day, and what I mean by like a down day, it's like I take care of my mom full time. You know, she's 100% my responsibility. She's bedridden, you know, but that doesn't stop her from um, just, you know, being spicy. My mom's from Trinidad, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't stop her from having her personality, and sometimes her personality can be very challenging, you know. So I'll just come here and just walk around and look at these guys, and most of the time I'll just walk up to a tree and, you know, especially if I'm like feeling emotion or feeling emotional, Like I'll just, sometimes I'll just lean up against it, or I'll just even hold it like this, and it just makes me feel better. It's nothing. It's nothing like quirky about it. It's nothing like a ritual or a ceremony. It's just hold on to the tree.
It's grounding.
It's always here. It ain't going nowhere. It's giving without expecting to receive anything. You know, it's unconditional. It's unconditional. So from this vantage point right here, you get to experience the water. You have enough shade right here. This is where I'll lay my blanket. And like, just look up. Like, this is just heavenly right here. You know, you've got enough light peeking through. It's not overly shady. You just got the view of the water right there. You've got the sound of the crickets, the birds. They always welcome me. Like you notice how it got loud right here? Yeah. Over 20 some odd years. You know, I really never truly understood the value of being in nature until my dad passed away, honestly. You know, and that was 3 years ago. I know it's like, well, what do you mean? You know, because you've seemed like you've been into this lifestyle. Until you're faced with the loss of someone that's, you know, like father, mother, a loved one, it's difficult to realize how valuable life is, you know, because we live it so nonchalantly. This is my favorite part of this park, and it's an adventure every time I come back here. It's an adventure every time I come back here. We got some spiders, you got some crab, you know, there's a bunch of crab holes, you'll see that everywhere. I've never ever once, and who knows, we might see it today, I've never once seen an alligator on this trail, and I've been on this trail hundreds of times. Definitely I've seen some cardinals, I've seen some blue jays, as far as birds are concerned. A lot of hawks. Isn't this cool? So the tide is super high right now. Most of the time, this whole tree is completely above the water, and it's really slippery. I can see it's like the wood is slippery, but I'll walk out over there and just kind of chill. I've always had a fear of balance, believe it or not, even with me being in yoga and doing yoga. You know, whenever there's a chance that I could fall into something, my balance kind of says, see you later, bye-bye. But I've recently been challenging that, and I'll just literally just go walk out there and then slowly make my way back without falling into the water. So I felt accomplished doing that. It's the little things, right? Look at this, bro. A lot of little fish in there, tadpoles, I'm thinking. You know, that's really life. On every level, there's just millions and billions, right? It's like in there, you've got millions and billions of microparticles and large organisms, small organisms, and in a drop of that water, there's millions and billions of microorganisms, and then we come up over on this level, and there's millions and billions of trees and humans, and then you come out on the next level, and there's millions and billions of planets, and then come out on the next level, and there's millions and billions of solar systems, and then come out on the next level, and then there's millions and billions of galaxies, and then you come out on the next level, there's millions and billions of everything. So it just shows us that we're just always growing. There's always more. There's always more to see. There's always more to do. There's always more to feel.
Oh yeah, this is great.
got to get out the right time of the day. You know, if you can wake up a little bit earlier and get at it. But at the end of the day, if you're in Florida, you're gonna get some heat. so you might as well just do your best to deal with it, because it's more important for you to feel calm and allow for nature to do its work on you than to worry about the heat. Like, get out, get hot. It's okay. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. This is my favorite spot though here. It's away from everything. I can do yoga here. Like I'll literally just do some yoga here. Just looking at everything. Looking for the birds, hearing the sounds. Just breathing, just even taking in air in this environment is so much more healthier than being at home or certain type of fish that like jump super high out of the water. I'm not even sure what type it is, but they'll just start dancing, man. Like at certain times in the day, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening, they'll just start dancing, or even like 7 o'clock in the morning, they'll just be jumping. And that's really cool to see that. But really just crabs, lizards, and fish, and birds, you know, and your neighborly mosquito here and there. But all of it is healing. You know, all of it allows for me to feel at ease. All of it resets me. Like sometimes I'll have a session or a phone call. You know, I do bridge conversations with my clients where I'm like helping them overcome whatever it is they're dealing with in a moment. And those conversations are about 15 to 30 minutes. And in those conversations, sometimes if I'm not like in a clear space, I have to get myself to a clear space before having a conversation with a client. Because if I'm bringing my energy for whatever it is that I'm dealing with to the conversation, it's not fair for the client. So sometimes I'll just come out here just to reset. Like, okay, I need to go for a walk really quick, and then I'll come out, I'll relax for a little bit, and then I'm prepared to do the call, you know? So it's really that quick once you know that you have this as a source. And what I mean by this, it's literally just nature. Like, you can step outside of your front door and look up at the sun and just taking some breaths. And as soon as you take in that first breath, feeling the warmth of the sun in your skin and feeling the air on you, like you've relaxed all kinds of neurons in your body. Like, it's automatic, you know? So I'll come here to do that. I'll come here to reset in order to be a better space for my clients, you know, for people.